What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of NFL Turf Talk. We are live here on the DSM Media Twitter page. Make sure to check us out at DSM_media. And we're also streaming live, as always, on the DSM Turf Talk YouTube channel, guys. So make sure to do us a favor. Check out the YouTube link. It's in our bio in the Twitter. It's in our link tree in the Twitter bio, Make sure to smash the subscribe button, share it with your friends, family, any other football fans that you may know that could enjoy the content. This is your week 14 recap show, playoff seeding on the line, man. A couple big matchups in the AFC. Not much going on in the NFC, but a huge NFC North battle took place at Lambeau with the Packers coming out on top over the Bears. We got some power rankings to get into, but it's the best time of the year, man. We're in the holiday season. Every week, something seems to matter. Big injury in Indianapolis we got to dive into, and how that changes the landscape out in the AFC. But should be a fun show, even though the Eagles have continuously let us down over the last couple of weeks. But we already talked about that. We're not getting into that here. If you comment about the Eagles, we're ignoring you today. I'm on half your host, Dylan Davis, obviously. To my left, my faithful co-host, Scotty, my man. What is going on?
Yeah, we got to ignore the Eagles until the power rankings.
Yeah. Well, still kind of ignoring them.
Yeah, fair enough. But how we feeling, man? Obviously, we just got done talking about that horrible Eagles third loss in a row on Faithful Fanatics. So we're, like you said, staying away from that. But despite that, I'm feeling pretty good, man. The NFL is interesting right now. There's a lot of back and forth going on in a couple divisions. So it should be a fun show to get into, my brother. But yeah, we are down in the dog dirt right now, man. It was fun while it lasted, us being able to, just talk our shit on here as Eagles fans and kind of just remain untouched for a good part of the first half of the season. But yeah, that's over. We are in a struggle right now. So we'll see where it goes. But a lot of action took place in week 14. A lot of movement in the playoff picture took place. So I'm sure there's a bunch we can get into today.
Yeah, well,
no Eagles.
Yeah, and the Eagles obviously being the defending Super Bowl champs, the team that they beat last year, going for a three-peat at the time. The Kansas City Chiefs are all the way down at the number 10 seed, 6-7. They lose at home on Sunday Night Football to the Houston Texans, 20-10. Mahomes and the Chiefs season seemingly seems to be coming to an end. Might not make the playoffs for the first time. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. Hot take, I know. 6-7 for make the playoffs. For the first
Safe
time
to say that.
And the Texans, man, a team that started out 0-2, 1-3, 0-3, whatever the hell they were to start the year. That offense, we're sitting here with this Eagles offense right now. That Texans offense might have been worse to start the year than what the Eagles are putting out there right now. And they're sitting here at 8-5 on a nice little win streak of their own, finding themselves right back in the thick of things in the wild card and in their own division, only a game behind the Jacksonville Jaguars right now and tied with the Colts, both at 8-5. Chiefs, let's start there.
Yeah.
You ready to stamp it or no? Or do we have to wait till it's mathematically impossible for that man to get in?
Nah, I think they're cooked. I'm just trying to. I'm looking at the picture, the playoff picture, right? And I'm looking at the Houston Texans at the 7 seed.
Yeah,
they're 8-5. The Chiefs are 6-7 right now.
Yeah.
So they're 2 games behind them.
And you have the Colts also ahead of them, who are out of the playoff picture at 8-5. Now we'll get to Indianapolis. We know why that's becoming less relevant, but still another 2-game difference of a team you would have to leap in 4 weeks to get there.
Right. And then in division, you're looking at the Chargers at 9-4 right now. I think that's we can mark that as close, right? Like I know it's not official, but I don't see the Chargers.
Whoa.
What's up?
Denver.
Oh yeah, duh. I'm dumb. My bad. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, that's really, really gone. But I guess I was thinking of second place in the division nonetheless. But yeah, I don't see the Chargers dropping 3 of their last 4 either. Yeah, I think they're cooked, man. I think you look at the Bills right now, 9-4 primed. The only caveat, I guess, is the Texans play the Jags. They already played the Jags. So no, they're 1-1 versus Jacksonville this year. So they're not playing them again.
Cardinals, Vegas, Chargers, Colts for
Houston.
Yeah.
Houston's probably making the playoffs, man. Yeah. I mean, that to be clear, that was actually one of my takeaways from week 14. Right. Houston's defense is going to get them.
Well, and let me ask you this, because I always get confused in the NFL with how tiebreakers work, because I feel like it's kind of this weird, stupid way, but I could be wrong. We're saying 2 games. Houston just beat them head to head. Is that the first tiebreaker in the National Football League? I always
should be.
You would think so, but then I know like they do something weird with
division ranking or something.
Something I forget. But like if it is head to head, my point is Houston did just beat them. That would be a 3-game difference overall with 4 to play from that standpoint.
Yeah. So to answer your question, yes, I think they're done. And to be clear, we're sitting here talking about like hypotheticals of other teams and basically admitting that the Chiefs don't control their own destiny.
Yeah.
Even if they did, they're not playing good football. And I think that's
exactamundo, Scotty.
Right?
Exactly. Yeah. That's why I'm stamping it as well, because I asked you the question and then I peeked over at that schedule they have remaining, and it's the Chargers at home, the Titans, the Raiders, and the Broncos on Thursday Night Football in Arrowhead. Broncos should have the division locked up. Who knows what they're playing for at that point in time? So I'm sitting here like, man, can I stamp it? But yes, in this point in time, regardless if they even did control their own destiny, we have to at some point put the past in the past. We have to put it in a box and put it over there for this conversation, because this Chiefs team has not shown you anything to make you believe otherwise in the 2025 Chiefs. Rashee Rice is back. Xavier Worthy is healthy. Travis Kelce looks better than he did last year in the regular season. Yeah. They just aren't playing good football. They're not a good football team this year. 1 week it's the defense, 1 week it's the offense. Patrick Mahomes is turning the football over. They have no running game. You talk about this all the time. Pacheco and Kareem Hunt don't scare you and me if we were on the football field. I'm only joking, but you get my point. That run game isn't keeping any defensive coordinator on its toes or game plan in any sort of way, and it's making life difficult for them. I'm stamping it along with you. I think they are 1,000% out of the playoffs at this point. I know that's not a hot take, but I know there are some people out there that are still going to say, well, they're going to run the table, and if this happens, they're not running the table, man. Let me put it very clearly for you.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. You can put the fork in them. The team that comes to mind, man, because they have the same record, they're just in a different division. And you had that showdown between the Ravens and the Steelers this past weekend, man. And obviously, Steelers take care of business. We can't go as far to say that there's a fork stuck in the Ravens, but goddamn, man, they're not doing anything.
The Ravens have the luxury of having their division in play, right? The Ravens are like the Panthers. I mean, the Panthers are playing better than the Ravens. The Panthers have a better record than the Ravens.
Agreed.
But the Panthers, looking at a wild card, doesn't seem too good, but they're right there with the Bucs to where they still have that opportunity, right, at this point in the season. The Ravens had the same luxury. Now, you did just lose to the team you're chasing and there's 4 weeks now remaining. That's not a positive. But they have mathematically a much, much more substantial chance of getting in the postseason. However, I don't think they're going to, man. And the reason I say I don't think they're going to is I think they're in the same exact boat 10 times over than the team we just talked about if they controlled their own destiny. I think the Ravens are simply a bad football team in 2025.
Yeah.
Point blank, period. Now listen. I think it was likely in the end. Should have been a touchdown. Let's call that for what it was. Should have been a touchdown. Controversial call. He gets sacked on the next play. Game ends. Should they have won the game? Should they have lost the game? That doesn't really matter to me, bro. They're just not a good team. We talked about the resume a couple of weeks ago. They went on a big stretch before Lamar came back, and then when Lamar got back, they beat the Jets, the Browns, the Vikings, the Dolphins, and they have a good win against the Browns. Against the Bears, excuse me. They beat the Browns earlier in the year. They have lost now to the Bills, the Lions, the Chiefs, the Texans, the Rams, the Bengals, and the Steelers. They still play the Bengals in Cincy, Patriots in Lambeau, in Pittsburgh to wrap it up potentially with the season on the line. I can't point at a game where I think they win. Now, do I think they lose out? No, probably not. I think they win a game, right? But I can't look at that schedule and go, oh yeah, they should win here, or they have a decent shot of winning here.
I think that's fair. And I guess my problem with it is that I feel that way about the division as a whole at this point, because I'm looking at the Steelers' remaining schedule right now on my phone. They've got the Dolphins, which sure they should be favored against the Dolphins, but they could lose to the Dolphins, right? Like the Dolphins are playing a little bit better than what they were earlier this season. They're 6-7 right now. They play the Lions in Detroit. They play the Browns in Cleveland, which the Browns are what they are, but it's still a thorn in your side, especially in division. And then they finish it out, like you said, against the Ravens, which you would take them against the Ravens just because they just beat them. It's in Pittsburgh, but who is going to win this damn division? I mean, you could look at those 4 games. Let's just take the Ravens and Steelers game out of it, right? And look at the other 3. And like to your point about the Ravens, same thing with the Steelers. They could lose any one of those 3 other games, right? So it is perplexing to that point. The Steelers took care of business in Baltimore, and so they do get the caveat of, being ahead right now. But both of these teams, just to be clear, have been like ridiculous disappointments. Ravens to a farther extent by a mile, I would say, right?
I agree with you. Now,
I expected the Steelers to be a playoff team. I expected the Ravens to be a Super Bowl contender. And
agreed. And now the other side of the argument is, well, they didn't have their MVP for a couple of weeks in the middle, right? The problem with that argument goes right out the window for me. They weren't good before, and they haven't been really good since. So it has nothing. It has not much to do with it. And like I said to you before, I believe if I went back to check right now, that good win I gave them against the Bears, 30-16, that's Snoop Huntley. That's without Lamar Jackson playing.
Yeah.
So they don't have a valuable win with their most valuable guy on the field. And this was just an embarrassing loss, man. At home against this division team, the Pittsburgh Steelers carried the ball 17 times for 34 yards. The Baltimore Ravens carried it 40 times for 217 yards. And you found a way to lose the football game.
Amazing. Takes an immaculate effort to do that. Real quick, just while we're on this division, did you see? I obviously you saw, but what did you think of Shedeur Sanders? It went to over, or did it go to overtime? And then
no, it was either in overtime or to play to not.
Yeah,
go
one
to,
or the
I
other.
think they went for 2 to try to win the game instead of playing for overtime. Is that the case?
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So no. Yes, they went for 2 to try to win it. Am I wrong? No.
Is it 31-29?
Yeah. So they went for 2 to try to go to overtime.
To get to OT. Okay.
And they took him off the field.
They took him off the field. Yeah.
And he's actually playing incredibly well. Like, was the reason you were 23 of 42, 364, 3 tutties passing.
Yeah.
He's playing very, very, very well for you. And you took him
what
off
I was
the field
going to
on the
ask you off
play.
that, man. What I was going to ask you off that. It's all hypotheticals. It doesn't matter now. If Shedeur Sanders starts the season as the starting quarterback, do you think I'm not saying they would. Do you think they could have competed for this division, won this division?
Nah.
No.
And because here's the thing.
I'm just saying because their defense is amazing.
Yes,
their defense is really good.
Agreed. I still don't like Shedeur Sanders. Like I can give you all the props in the world against the Tennessee Titans.
This was the second start, right?
Yeah, and it's
you only got so much
still
film
incredibly early. So it's hard to really get on him. Let's see. He has played in it says 4 games, but he hasn't started 4 games.
Right. I think he came in for Dylan Gabriel in 2 of those.
I mean, here's what we got. He's got a 52.4% completion percentage, with 5 touchdowns and 3 interceptions.
Okay. Yeah. I feel you. I feel
and
you.
I don't think Shedeur is bad. Like I don't think Shedeur is Dylan Gabriel bad.
Yeah.
Hell, let me say this. I think I would take Shedeur Sanders over JJ McCarthy.
Yeah.
That's how much I dislike JJ McCarthy. But I don't think Shedeur Sanders is like this answer.
Do you think he should have started, though? Is that fair to say?
Yes, but, and the reason I throw in the but, and it's not fair, and I know I sound like an old cranky white man, he handled himself so poorly.
Yeah.
You took yourself out of the running at some point. It was almost like you were being disciplined, and that you say that's right or wrong. I'm not even saying it's right. I'm just saying you handle yourself that way behind closed doors in meetings, in interviews. You did it throughout the draft process. You slipped in the draft because of you wouldn't talk to teams, and the way you handled yourself in the pre-draft interviews, then how you handled yourself in Cleveland when Gabriel. You did a lot to get in your own way when you do have more talent than Dylan Gabriel. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
And so, if you are a Browns fan, if you are a Browns teammate, you're probably not all that happy because, hey, this guy would have been giving us a better chance to win each and every day. If you're a player for the Browns, I want the best chance to win, put him in the game. But you do have to also understand, no one gives a fuck who your daddy is, kid. So I don't know.
No,
that's why I think he took himself out of it.
No, I feel that, especially when you look at him being named the third string. I mean, obviously, it has to do with discipline at that.
Yeah, I think it was like a public kind of not humiliation, but like a public statement by the organization saying, "Yo, get in line. This is what we do here. When your time's called, your name will be called." And it is, and he played incredibly well. Stefanski, for some reason, took him out of the game. They lose. And hey, 2 days later, he was named the starter for the rest of the season now because he played so well in that game. So you have your opportunity. You have not your. I'm not saying your opportunity to make or break it, but you have an opportunity to continue to play well and maybe be the guy starting in week 1 of next season.
Yeah, win the lead at least on the next QB race, or
maybe
the thing,
man. You don't play well. It's not about winning games, but if he doesn't play well, they're going to draft another quarterback. Yeah. I mean, they're going to draft another quarterback regardless. But if he doesn't look good, they're going to draft one in the first fucking round again.
Well, it's just wild because how many draft picks did they use on quarterbacks last year?
They're terrible, bro. They are
like Dylan Gabriel, Shedeur Sanders, and then traded picks for Kenny Pickett, right?
Yeah.
So whatever. They're obviously a dumpster fire organization. Kind of just was speaking more to where this division is at, because at 3-10 you shouldn't even be having ideas around that, right?
So I'm glad you said that because 3-10 for them with that quarterback situation, they're in the dumpster. You have a 4-9 Bengals team who was 4-8 last week, who legitimately had a chance to play for the division. That's where this
defense is better than theirs, right? Yeah. But at least with the Bengals, that's the thing with the Browns too. It's not just Shedeur on the offense. It's not just about him. Right. Who is he throwing the ball to? Yes. Where does the consistency come from? I know Quinshon Judkins had gotten it going for the Browns a bit there, but he's not working with a ton of talent in Cleveland.
No. But speaking, we keep it right here in this division, man. Bengals lose after having what were they up at one point? 21-11 in Buffalo at halftime, looking like they had a chance to truly pull off the upset. Still with a lead heading into the fourth quarter, they scored 13 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Their defense gave up 21 in the fourth quarter. They lose 39-34. Josh Allen does not have as big of a statistical day as Joe Burrow. It's very close. Joe Burrow, 284, 4 tutties. Josh Allen, 251, 3 tutties. The difference, what do we always talk about? Joe Breezy, 2 picks. Josh Allen, 0 picks.
Josh Allen did have a monster run. A monster run. It might have been over 50 yards. I might be tripping.
40.
Okay, yeah, he ran a long ways. I know that because I laid his tutty too, so it made me extra happy. But Josh Allen, to give him his props, man, this team shouldn't even be anywhere close to 9 wins in my opinion. Their defense is not good, in my opinion. The weapons on the outside, not good. You got 2 solid tight ends, I would say, and you have a good running back.
They were his leading receivers on Sunday.
Is it fair? Who do you think is the best? Well, I know there's Drake Mays out there, but Josh Allen is that name that is that. It's been there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I do. I think Josh. I think I would give the MVP to Drake. Like, as of right now, I don't think you can take the MVP away from Drake May.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still a couple weeks to be played. I'm not saying it won't, but I'm
They
saying
play each other this weekend.
Right. I'm not, but Josh is right there, man. And he's obviously New England's defense much better than Buffalo's defense.
Yeah.
But Drake doesn't have ridiculous weapons around him as well.
That's fair.
It's just funny you went that way with it, and I totally agree with you. Josh Allen deserves all the respect in the world this year. I was looking at it from the other perspective, just to pile on our Eagles talk for a second.
Yeah. What's up?
We just got done talking about Jalen Hurts, right? And what do people like to say all the time, man? He's got to have everything perfect, right? If the offensive line isn't playing well, he can't carry you.
Yeah.
If he doesn't have this, this, and this at his disposal, he can't carry you. If the defense is in top 5, he can't carry you. Joe Burrow has Jamar Chase and T. Higgins through 4 touchdown passes. It didn't seem to matter because his defense fucking sucks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's almost as if like Matt Stafford has Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams and Kyron Williams and that defense. It's almost as if like most quarterbacks,
to have success,
need a lot to have, right? Like we've seen Dak with all the weapons they've had, and the year that Parsons had double-digit sacks, and Trevon Diggs had double-digit INTs, and the 1,000-yard rusher, 2,000-yard receiver. Oh, doesn't quite matter. There's a lot that goes into it, and that kind of adds to your point as to why it's been a special season for Josh Allen, because he doesn't have those things.
It's a good point. It's good. It's great because it is. It's the complete opposite, but it makes the same point. To your point, Joe Burrow has a ton of stuff on that offense, right?
A lot.
But that defense, man. But to your point, the turnovers make the difference in this game. It's a Buffalo defense that relies on turnovers, quite honestly. I think the guy that got the pick 6, or was it a fumble recovery? I want to say, I don't know his name. It's number 47, I want to say. They got the touchdown on defense. Let me just look at it, give him his respect here. Get it right. But no, I believe that was the second defensive touchdown for that guy this season. Let me just see real quick.
Oh, Christian Benford?
Christian Benford, yeah.
He had a pick 6. Yeah.
6-6. And then let me just take a look at his game log because I want to see. Nonetheless, the point is that they do rely on turnovers. Nonetheless, maybe it wasn't him. I'm not seeing. Yeah, he didn't score any other touchdown. Maybe it wasn't him, but nonetheless, they rely on turnovers. They give up a lot of yards, as you can see. The Bengals were able to move the ball on them fairly easy. And Josh Allen they're going to rely on him throughout the rest of the season. They're going to rely on him having these, to that point, MVP level performances, but he's getting them by right now, man. And just the Bengals, man. I don't know if you saw the press conference with Joe Burrow. I don't know exactly which day it was this week, but you almost feel for it. I almost have that like it's almost like Joel Embiid, right? The greatness when they're on the field, but the injuries just are always there, like with Joe Burrow, right? It's every season, man. And this season, whatever it may be, we will never know if he plays those games instead of Joe Flacco or whoever the hell else it was, what this team would be. And the way he was talking about it, man, he just seemed so defeated from that standpoint of like, it's just always something in his way, man. And now they're 4-9 because they lost to a good Buffalo team. Like that couldn't decide their season, but it did.
The win might have been taken out of his sails once the defense gave up 21 fourth quarter points, and he would have 10-point win at half. Like, because think about it, right? Like, you come back, you win a big game last week if you're them against Baltimore, and even though you're 4-8, you still have a decent shot of competing down the stretch here, and you're doing your job for basically 3 quarters, and then that annoying pest, that gnat that just is always in your ear buzzing, that defense that just always gets in his way, rears its head in the fourth quarter, and it essentially buries your season. Like, the second he comes back, they get an ounce of hope in Baltimore, and then it's basically done. Look, mathematically, I'm assuming 7-6, 4-9, 3-game swing
They're still alive technically, mathematically.
They'd probably have to win out while Pittsburgh loses 4 or 3. I don't know.
Depends if they've played each other yet and what those look like, I guess.
I think they play each other twice no. Pittsburgh lost. That's right. Oh, they already played twice. What am I looking at? Pittsburgh lost to them with Joe Flacco on Thursday night in that big high-scoring game. And then Pittsburgh kicked the shit out of them a few weeks ago.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're cooked. If the Chiefs are cooked, I think the Bengals are cooked because they're not going to win out. That's the main thing here. They're not going to win out because that defense is horrid. And we'll see where they go next, man. You extended Jamar Chase, you extended T. Higgins. Where do you go next? Like, where's the money come from to invest in this defense, man?
No, I agree, bro.
They're gonna have to draft well, but
you mentioned injury there for a second when it came to Joe Burrow. Speaking of injury, the Jags beat the Colts 36-19, but it goes deeper than that. The Jags take first place over in the AFC South, obviously with Houston, biting at their heels now as well. But the Colts sitting at 8-5 just a few weeks ago had the best record in football. They've come completely down to earth, but it's past that.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones done for the season. Riley Leonard, the rookie backup from Duke, nicked up. Who do you call when things are going bad, Scotty? Old Grandpa Rivers. And here comes, what is he? 44?
44, man.
Here comes 44-year-old sharing number 17 because Danny Dimes is on the IR now so he can have it back. Former Colt, Philip fucking Rivers. And it looks like, as of a half hour ago from the reports from Adam Schefter, it seems they're on track for Philip Rivers to start for the Indianapolis Colts this weekend. Would you like to take this one?
I don't even know what to say. Like, I don't understand, why. I really don't understand. Like, there's nobody else out there.
I mean,
maybe there's not. Maybe there's not. I mean, I don't know. Are they trying to win games? Is that what they think they're doing?
I'm only joking with you. Because, don't get me wrong, you still, got Joe Flacco still plays, whatever, but he's been playing. I don't, you might have been able to call the kid that plays flag football that says he would be a better player than Mahomes for the Olympic team. You might, there's no one else. There's no undrafted guys that went to the draft. There's no one on the practice squad anywhere. There's nobody else.
Where the fuck is Anthony Richardson?
I don't know. Is he hurt? I don't know what they did with him, where they put him. Bro, let me just make sure. Let me just check how old this guy is real quick.
He's 40 plus. No,
not him. He's okay. So he's a little.
Oh, Joe Flacco.
So, I clicked the wrong guy. So
I would love to see what he looks like.
Philip Rivers is indeed 44. What I was about to say is, brother, that would be like the Saints calling up Drew Brees.
Drew Brees.
He's 46, so he's a little older than old Philip.
How old's Eli?
I mean, they were drafted the same year because they were traded for each other on draft night. So let's say Eli Manning, 44.
44.
Legitimately, that would be like Ben Roethlisberger or Eli Manning or Drew Brees.
But see,
coming back to play right now.
With Joe Flacco, though, he was always he's tall and I don't want to say skinny, but
and here's
he's
the
just thinner than Philip Rivers. Philip Rivers is a filled out guy. I'm curious what he looks like right now.
Well, two things, okay? Joe Flacco, while old for an NFL quarterback, is 40. So that's a 4-year difference. He's 4 years younger, almost the same. Philip Rivers.
That is a difference. That is a big difference.
Has been out of football longer than the age gap between him and Joe Flacco.
He's been out
I
5+
believe
years
2020 was
or
his
4+
last season,
years.
right? That was his last
Wow.
season, I think.
I can't. Did he play for the Colts last? Am I remembering
Yeah.
that correctly?
Let me just.
And then he
let me
got
see.
injured, and I guess he retired after that.
Phillip Rivers, 2020. Hey, listen, slang that thing for almost 4,200 yards on 68% completion.
Maybe that's
He's
what they're thinking.
5
Gunslinger.
years, bro. So not only is Joe Flacco younger, Joe Flacco has continuously been in football shape and playing at this level
Yeah,
for the
taking the
last
hits.
5 years. You
Yeah.
are calling a grandfather. Hey, I'm pretty sure I saw the other day his oldest daughter like graduated college.
Yeah, because he has like 15 kids or some shit, right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he has like 12 kids or something. I saw that
Or
somewhere.
no, his oldest daughter has to be. She has to be older than that if he's a grandfather. Well, I mean, she
Yeah.
doesn't have to be, but like you would imagine.
Yeah. We're getting into a relationship types of shit.
Yeah.
No, but I feel you. It's the point of the convo is like this
How many
guy's old
kids
as
does he
fuck.
have?
And there's nobody that wasn't drafted out of
First of all,
college last year that you could just bring in and work out, or somebody on the practice squad of another team that you could bring up and work out.
right. They have 7 daughters and 3 sons.
So
Rivers
10.
became a grandfather in 2024. His oldest son, Gunnar, was the starting quarterback in the 2023 season for St. Michael Catholic High School in Alabama, where Rivers served as the coach.
Interesting, man. Let me ask you this.
Damn. So who popped the kid? Oh, his oldest son. Okay. So he's probably got a daughter that's a little older.
This is a random name drop just because of Eagles, like in the past, right? And we've just seen him very minimally. I'm thinking about a guy by the name of Ian Book. Do you take like Phillip Rivers or Ian Book? Like you know what I mean? Like I'm just thinking of guys that would be on like a practice squad, right? That you could like literally take from some other team. I don't know. I'm not saying I would take Ian Book or so on and so forth over Phillip Rivers, but what the fuck? I just don't understand why they had to reach that deep into the well. I don't get it.
And the best part is they're playing Seattle. In Seattle. One of two things is going to happen. 44-year-old Phillip Rivers is going to come out and sling it like Joe Flacco did earlier in the season.
Right.
And it's going to be like, holy
Catch
shit,
people off guard
for a week.
Yeah.
Or he's going to die. Like grandpa's ribs are going to get cracked or an arm's going to get snatched. Something really bad is going to happen, bro. Like, and did you hear what they were talking about? He's been with the thing with Steichen and like obviously the familiarity of being in Indy before. I'm not making this up. The Colts offense is like similar, or is the offense he was calling for his son's high school team over the last couple of years. So he's familiar with the playbook is what they said. And he said,
wow. I mean, whatever. I mean, good luck. Good luck. That's what I told my buddy who's a Colts fan. My man Mark out there somewhere.
sorry, brother.
Good luck, brother. I mean, I don't know.
Let me ask you this on another note.
Yeah, what's up?
Joking. If you're a Colts fan, are you a little happier? I mean, I'm joking, obviously, because we just said about taking Ian Book or a flag football quarterback over Phillip Rivers at this point. But you were starting to get back down to earth, Daniel Jones. The division was slipping away from you. Look, do they get beat 36-19 with Daniel Jones instead of Riley Leonard? No, probably not.
Probably not.
But it wasn't going well for the Colts. And to finish the season, you get in Seattle, San Francisco, Jacksonville again, in Houston.
Yeah. And they're going the opposite.
Even with Daniel Jones, I would be surprised if the Colts were better than 10-7 at the end of the year.
Yeah.
2 more wins, 2-2 down the stretch that would get them to 10-7. And that's after they had the best record in football halfway through the season.
I do feel you on that. Yeah, I don't think they would have made the playoffs regardless. I just think Houston trending in the right direction at the right time. Jags trending in the right direction at the right time. I think both of those defenses are better than what Indy presents, and I think ultimately we would have seen that play out. Plus, you started to see, like, where did the Jonathan Taylor, like, MVP conversation go? Like, that shit, like, disappeared like a motherfucking ghost. But, yeah, he calmed down a lot throughout the last few weeks. He was getting bottled up. So, yeah, they weren't trending in the right direction. But give me one moment, brother. I'm just going to go take a quick piss, and I'll be right back.
No worries, dude. Oh God, head's big on the screen now. Getting into the last game now, I'm sure he'll pick back up when he's in here, but getting to the last game that really mattered in week 14 was in the NFC. Bears, Packers. Packers get the job done by 7 in Lambeau. They take control of the NFC North for the time being. There's still 4 games left, obviously. They're 9-3-1. That tie against Dallas may very well come in handy for them down the stretch here. But the Bears go from being number 1 in the NFC at 9-3 before this game down to number 7 in this third and final wild card slot at 9-4. San Fran ahead of them at 9-4, and then Seattle 10-3 in the 5 hole. You have the Rams 10-3, both in the NFC West. Obviously, San Fran in the NFC West at all. Detroit right behind Chicago at 8-5 within that division. Man, I said this to Scotty a couple days ago. I don't think they make, or Chicago, I'm speaking of, I don't think they make the postseason. And I just want to kind of affirm what I've been thinking here. They finish this season, right? Now they get the Browns this week at home. That should be a win. I know that Browns defense is very good. Shador's got a little energy in them. That should be a Bears win. But then you finish the season. Packers at home, at San Francisco, which is clearly going to matter, and Detroit, which is clearly going to matter. And Detroit smoked them all the way back in week 2. Obviously, 2 of these are division games as well. If you lose to Green Bay and you lose to Detroit, and they finish 11-6, which would then also put them at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would give them 5 division losses. That would make them 1-5 in the NFC North this year, Scotty.
Talking about the Bears.
The Bears. That will knock them out of the postseason for me. And that Niners game's huge as well, because the Niners are the team right above them at 9-4 in the 6th spot. You find a way, and I do think there is a world where the Chicago Bears finish 1-3 and miss the playoffs. And even if they finish 2-2, they still may very well miss the playoffs.
Who would you rather play in the playoffs from Eagles' perspective?
The Bears.
The Bears, like over the Niners?
I'd like my comeuppance. I'd much rather play Caleb Williams and that team that ran for 2-something against us, which would not fucking happen again at the Link.
That's fair.
I would rather that than like Shanahan coming to town and CMC and Kittle and whatever else they start throwing your way.
They have experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'd rather the Bears. To me, the Bears would be the easiest pick in the NFC as a whole. So yeah, but I think they missed the playoffs, bro.
Yeah, I feel you. I don't see. I mean, I guess the deciding point, to your point, would be that game against San Fran. If they can win that game, just to put themselves ahead of San Fran.
Yeah,
that's a big ask. I mean, it's a big ask to beat San Fran. It's not a lot.
Let me just double check something as well. So if you're San Fran coming up before that Bears game at home on Sunday Night Football, you get the Titans at home and then probably Phillip Rivers or Riley Leonard on Monday Night Football the week after that. So the Niners are looking at two more wins before Chicago even gets to them on Sunday night. So, and then they get Seattle at home in the last week, which is obviously very difficult. We'll see what has to play out there. But
so
the
you
Niners schedule
making it over them, basically.
Yeah, I do. And so that's an important question I guess I should look at as well. Detroit finishes up with not easy. They're in LA versus the Rams, which I would give them a loss at this point in time, but you never know. But then they get the Steelers at home. should be a win for my money. They get JJ McCarthy and the Vikings on Christmas.
Should be.
And then you get that Bears matchup that could decide everything. So, yeah, and I would take the Lions in that matchup if that decided the playoff spot. Yeah.
That would be interesting if Ben Johnson knocked his old team out of the playoffs.
Yeah, it would.
But no, I'm not against you. I guess I'm not 100% sure. I know you're not either. I should put it this way. I'm not as sure as you that they'll miss it. I guess that's more out of lack of trust for the Lions and who's below them than themselves. But and I'm even looking at I guess the only caveat with the Panthers, who are right below the Lions, and once again, I'm not like trying to throw the Panthers out here, right? Like, but they're 7-6 right now. They play Tampa Bay twice the rest of this season, so they could kind of decide who. They control their own destiny. They can win the division by just beating Tampa Bay in these last couple games. What were you going to say?
I'm glad you brought that up because I was just going to mention this Thursday night game tonight. Tampa Bay has to come away with a win tonight, man. At home, Kirk Cousins, no Drake London for the Falcons. Full arsenal for Baker tonight. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Emeka Egbuka, Bucky Irving. I'm missing their other McMillan. So it's the first time all year, all these Chris Godwin, they're all playing together. So
that's crazy.
See what the Bucs can do in this one, they
need a bounce back game bad. They need it bad.
What do you?
I'll throw this out to you, man. I something in my gut tells me the Carolina Panthers are gonna find a way into the postseason. I don't know why. I don't know what it is.
Well, let me throw this to you then. If that was the case, I would then change my answer from the Bears being the easiest pick to go against to the Panthers to be the easiest pick. Because I would gladly take on the Carolina Panthers and Bryce Young in the playoffs.
I do feel you. They just won some weird games this year. They played teams close, but I think my gut feeling there is more about the Bucs and the way that they've played so far this season, and more of late, right? The last few weeks, I think they've lost 4 out of their last 5, something like that. That's what gives me a little bit of uncertainty. Yeah. They play the Panthers twice. The Panthers defense is pretty sturdy, but knowing the Bucs, like you said, they're getting Mike Evans. You got Godwin. You got Bucky Irvin back. You get Jalen McMillan back. They'll fuck around and blow the Panthers out or some shit. You know what I mean? I don't know. It is a gut feeling. I think it's probably just because the Panthers have that opportunity in front of them, right? You got 2 games against the Bucs. You can control your own destiny if you want to win the division, but. Yeah, Tampa Bay just needs to worry one game at a time, win this game tonight, which they should against a Kirk Cousins-led Atlanta.
Before we get out of here, what do you like in that game? Yeah, because there's a couple different options I'm leaning, and they all kind of require Tampa Bay leaning because there's the spread, which was 4.5. I think it's 5.5 now, so that's a little bit trickier, but regardless – the over is kind of intriguing, but then my question to you would be, do you just take Tampa Bay over 23.5 and not have to worry about Atlanta? I texted you earlier, Baker for 220 plus passing yards is minus 115 with all the weapons at his disposal at home. So where you lean, I know you mentioned a couple of touchdown scores too.
Yeah, I think you have to lean Tampa's way. You have to give them the benefit of the doubt. I do just have a little inkling of concern in the back of my head that they lost to the fucking Saints. Do you know what I mean? That does stick in my head a little bit. They're coming off a loss to the Saints. And I guess that's why, I texted you the over. I think I shifted it down a point from where it was at to 43.5. It might have moved back there at this point, but that was off the faith that the Saints were able to score. So I would imagine Kirk Cousins should score. But to your point, yeah, if we're expecting a bounce back game for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, if it's at 20, I think it was at 24.5 when I looked at it. But yeah, if you can eat a little bit of juice for 23.5, I think that's a good point. They could easily put up 28.
Right, because the only reason I say that is I don't know that I think it's going to be a 3-point game, and even if it was, you still need the Bucs at that minimum 23 for the over to hit, right?
Yeah.
So Unless
Yeah.
somehow we're way off base here and the Falcons end up, dropping 27 in this one and winning the game and 27-17 or something in that area.
It's not impossible, but to your point, I doubt it. And then the touchdown scorers that you mentioned, I was looking at Egbuka TD, which is just value. It was like plus 175 at the time. You're getting Mike Evans back, so it takes a little bit of the attention away. You get McMillan back. So I'm hoping he could get back to like that early season form when he was just scoring touchdowns like a machine. But then the other one that really stuck out to me was Bucky Irvin TD. Plus, it was plus money last time I looked at it. I think it was plus 120. Don't know if that shifted, him at plus money, he was like the guy, and I think they're going to get back to that.
No, I agree. I think he scored last week as well for them.
He did through the air.
Let's see. Bucky is plus 120 at the moment. That's the thing about tonight's game is everybody's plus money, and the lowest is Bijan. He's minus 120. So
he's minus 120.
Yeah, that's it.
But I can't lay that because they do some funky shit with that.
Tyler Algier gets the ball.
I'm not getting sniped by Tyler Algier on a 4-9 Atlanta team.
Yeah, you mentioned Egbuka, and I think to open the day, his yards were 39.5.
Damn,
and I saw someone posted it. It's up to 49.5.
Damn, went up 10 yards.
Yeah, so people are
on it,
assuming all over that. But you
get that in one catch.
I agree with you. We'll obviously talk and see what happens. But guys, as always, make sure to follow
Tampa Bay,
and enjoy the rest of your night.
Yes, sir. Peace everybody.